So with that said, there's a lot of important things going on in the world and in this country, and with all the bickering and fighting going on mainstream media, on online social media, well, you got to admit that Colin Kaepernick, second string quarterback for San Francisco 49ers, being this is a national sport and people tend to use their sports for protests of various sorts. This is one of them. And of course, anybody who's served in the military will tell you that they fought for people's rights. They served for people's rights to protest. And of course, everybody has the same dialogue, whether it's an NFL official, a coach, NFL coach, if it's an NFL newscaster, commentator, military veterans, retired officers, whatever. We're all, or any general citizen, we're all in agreement, of course. But the big question today is what's going to happen? What should our fans do today in San Diego as the Chargers play their last preseason game with the 49ers? What should they do? Should they hold a sign? Should they boo? And all this other stuff. I think we should all just have class and enjoy the game. And on top of enjoying the game, enjoy your time at the game. It's going to be NFL's largest military tribute ever. And it is going to be dedicated to all of our armed forces veterans and currently enlisted members. And it's going to be a great show of patriotism. And what is my opinion on what Colin Kaepernick did, regardless of his race or his color or his nationality? You don't sit down during the honoring of our nation, during the national anthem, or saluting the flag, the Pledge of Allegiance, any of that. You don't use your position as a player to do that, of course. What else is going on in the United States today? I just heard the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which covers 9 western states, including Nevada and California. Today, there was a ruling for a Nevada citizen, and this ruling covers all 9 states that the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is in San Francisco, covers. If you have a marijuana card, you do not qualify. You are disqualified from owning a firearm. Today is September 1st, 2016. That's today's news. So at about 2 p.m. right now, I have made some phone calls for work. I'm kind of like a poor starving artist. We've all heard or read stories about poor starving artists. They've got their palettes, they're painting oils, watercolors, whatever, and they're trying to make a living. They know that they have something to offer that is of value, and they're sticking with their convictions of doing what they are passionate about. Well, I'm a poor starving broadcaster. You could read my bio, my description. It's on my blog, michaeldtobin.blogspot.com. It's on my Spreaker account, The Michael Tobin Show. It's on my YouTube. It's on my Twitter. It's on my Facebook. I'm kind of like the artist because I am being consistent, especially for the past 9 months since I've been unemployed. So I have a PayPal URL, a PayPal link, that if you are able to help me in any way, I'm still believing and hoping and going towards my goal of being able to be where the news is at. So at around 2 o'clock, I've made phone calls to friends, to companies. I've filled out applications online, in person. I'm waiting for phone calls or emails for jobs. And for the past several months, the only thing I've been able to do is side jobs like garden work, painting, drywall work, water damage, where people's bathrooms, kitchens flooded, whatever. And the only reason why it's paying the bills is because of my good sister, who is allowing me to roommate with her. And my responsibility is to help pay the bills and, of course, rent. So now is the time. I am like totally poised. I'm poised to go live consistently every day, and at least once a week I can have a special broadcast with many cutting edge public figures throughout the United States and throughout the world. I can interview so many people. I've already got their names, their contact information, and I'm just rearing to go. But today is one of those good days, a rare day, where I could actually drive from the north end of the county of San Diego down to near the southern part, just to get a couple of pictures of today's subject. And there are so many more opportunities that I could have had, but I was working. Jobs. So I really, everybody who does this needs support. If you're mainstream media, the support comes from a paycheck, obviously, from the conglomerates, the people, the groups who own the media stations, and we all know who they are, and they get their money from advertising. Well, I'm not mainstream. I'm grassroots, and people like myself, or who are actually more successful at what they're doing, at what I'm doing, they have the support, and they've had the tenacity to stick with what they are passionate about. And I'm asking for help. I'm asking for support. And so what else is going on in the country?
That have forgotten that we've all sinned and fallen short, and lecturing us.
Well, lots going on. Let's see. I know.
And I'm just saying to all of them that, okay,
I've been saying that
nomination for the Supreme Court.
I'll tell you right now, I have agreed with Donald Trump from the time that he started his campaign, and I have disagreed with every single other Republican candidate because they align themselves with what we call
solution to build a wall.
Progressives, rhinos, Republican in name only. That's what rhino stands for. It is obvious that a rhino will take on the Republican values with the limit, with reservations, as is their record proves. And I won't go into that. But I've supported Donald Trump because everything that he said he stood for is the true Republican values. And one of which is immigration, which by now you should all know that when Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton say something that says that they're going to get our immigration policies in order, it's all fine and dandy, but when a Republican says the same thing, they are bigots or racists. Now, this is the Republican, Democrat back and forth fighting and all this stuff, which is childish. But I have been saying there is not going to be a physical wall. You heard it from me first, even this late in the campaign. It's not going to be a physical wall. And last night, when Trump had a surprise visit with Mexican President Nieto, during Trump's campaign speech in Arizona, he said that we're going to have sensors, towers, and technology. And he says we're going to build a great wall. He keeps on saying that, but it's not going to be a physical wall. A physical wall is too detrimental to the environment when it comes to animals coming back and forth. We can't impede animals from freely migrating as animals do. In fact, they even call a freeway a natural, a man-made barrier for animals. It's an unsafe barrier, so that's what a wall would be. We discussed in the United States the creation of an electronic wall, and they stopped talking about that ever since back when Bush was president. So it's going to be an electronic wall with towers. But did you notice that he mentioned the towers and the sensors for the ground and above ground? Well, that's just a little hint for people who actually know better. And you can't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing too much in politics. So that's Trump's strategy. He says a lot of things, and the media is just poking at him, trying to get him to explain exactly how and what he means, which he's doing a pretty good job of not explaining. But that's one of the things that he's not explaining. It's going to be an electronic wall, and it's going to be effective, and there will be a mutual agreement between the United States and Mexico to get it done. And in a way, Mexico will pay for it, and anybody who is in the executive level of building businesses, say Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart, not many people realize that when the big box stores set up shop and they open stores, they buy the property, they build on it and everything. Well, part of the stipulations between the counties and the cities where they set up, there's always a side road that needs to be created, blacktop pavement, connecting other parts of a mall or a shopping center to the section where the big box store is going to be located. They have to put up street lights, stop signs, so people can safely enter and exit, and it makes the whole area improved. So part of the cost of building a big box store on the property that they purchase is doing good neighbor policy projects for the city, for the residents. So Trump knows this as much as any executive level businessman, corporation, because he builds hotels. You think he's going to be allowed to build a hotel without putting a stoplight somewhere to build an access road? No, that's part of the job. That's part of their costs. So you heard it from me first. It's not going to be a physical wall. Physical walls are too detrimental and they're unneeded in our situation here in the United States. You may be thinking about Israel. Well, they're a different situation. Mexico is our partner. Mexico is a friend. And we'd like to see our relationship between Mexico and the United States be just as amicable as it is between Canada and the United States. We don't worry about Canadians coming over here doing their things, wrong things, but we worry about people coming from the Mexican side of the border, not necessarily Mexican in nationality. And I'll say this, it's not the nationality that we are against, it is the mindset and the actions of the people who come from Central America and South America all the way through the Mexican nation to get here. And that's my stance on all this. All these things, there's so many people that are wanting to help improve the United States for the better, but they're only begging for the chance to do it instead of changing the United States for the worse. There's people in line waiting for somebody like Trump to give them a chance to make this a better country, and we can all get along. You know, the Bible says when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. It doesn't say that when the righteous rule, all the people agree with whatever the ruler thinks is righteous. It says when the righteous rule, the people rejoice, because when the righteous rule, there's going to be sensibility. There's going to be amicableness. There's going to be a just way of doing things, and so on and so on.